Traffic finding 69 Yankee with the glider toes departing 24 for a left crosswind departure, Hollister traffic.
Welcome to Hollister, California. This is my home airport during the spring and fall seasons. It often takes a rather long tow to get where the thermals are working. I'm off tow now and I've spotted a wispy, a tiny cumulus cloud just starting to form. If you look closely, you might be able to see the haze dome around this little cloud, which is what clued me into its presence at first. Before I get there, it disappears, but another one forms right in front of me and I hook into the thermal. It's 12:30 and the thermals have just started working, but I need to be cautious since it's still mostly blue and climbs will be harder to locate until I get to the clouds in the distance. I'm headed to an area between Chemise and EL2 where I've found good climbs in the past. When there are no clouds, glider pilots use terrain features and past experience to guess where thermals can be found. As I'm climbing slowly in this weak thermal, I see a new cloud starting to form to the south, and I abandon this climb in hopes of getting a stronger one under the new cloud. It turns out to be a decent one, and I ride it up for over 3,000 feet. Now I can relax since I'm up high and close to some great looking clouds. I shift into high gear and push the nose down. Another great climb gets me to cloud base, and I cruise south in the convergence. Looking into the distance ahead, I see that the sky is not looking so great. There's a layer of high clouds shading the ground, and the next group of cumulus is far away to the south. If I try to glide to those distant clouds, this high overcast layer may move in and cut off my route home. I wallow around under the clouds while I decide what to do. It's only 1:20, so it's still early in the day. More cumulus may develop over time, and I'd like to observe these high clouds to see which way they're moving. I decide to head back north and do a yo-yo, which will give things some time to develop. I arrive back at the place where I turned around last time, and I see that the line of cumulus has extended further south. I take another climb, then head south into new territory. I've come upon a massive shelf cloud, formed where two different air masses converge. The cool air from the coast is coming in from the west, and the dry, warm air from inland is coming from the east. Where they meet, a step in the cloud base forms, and this one is a fairly extreme example. I fly along the high side with no need to circle thanks to the rising air from the convergence. I feel like I've entered another world, a cloud cave in the sky. It's a magical feeling. It starts to hail. Tiny little white things are flying in my face, and I'm confused for a second. Where are they coming from? Then I realize the hail is blowing in my front air vent and swirling around the cockpit. I've reached the end of the shelf cloud, and now I see that the route further south has completely blown up and isn't an option. So I turn back north, and I'm surprised by what I see. The area I just flew through has blown up as well, and there's quite a bit of rain in my path. My adrenaline spikes. Am I going to be trapped by thunderstorms?
Raining over there. It's thickest over there. Either go around to the left in the blue, or I punch through the lighter rain here and go to the left or to the right of it. Don't go left. Comes the hail. I think I'm going to get by this just in time. Yeah. Could punch through that way, it looks pretty clear. I think that's what I'm going to do. Hope there's lift over there. It's gotten pretty dark. It's slowing down.
Finally break through the rain. I'm relieved that there wasn't heavy sink under it, and there's been no sign of lightning so far. I'm going to need another climb or two to get home. Will there be any lift under this dark sky ahead?
Delta 7 cruise POR 9000. 5 Whiskey, how you doing?
Just a few miles north of Hernandez here, looking for the climb, and 9,500. I'd like to get to 12.5 to cross over to the clouds here, the coast range.
He mentioned going to the coast. Interesting idea. Just then I run into a strong thermal, and suddenly things are looking up. I can hardly believe I'm climbing so fast with no sun on the ground. I decide to run up the right side of the clouds here, since there are better landing options on this side. I'm going to stay well clear of the range shafts, and I'm keeping an eye out for lightning. From what I can see, the clouds don't appear to be too tall, which suggests that they're unlikely to turn into thunderstorms. To my surprise and relief, there is nearly continuous lift, and I don't need to climb until I'm well past the rain. At this point, I have Hollister in range again, and I can relax a bit. I hear on the radio that 5 Whiskey is headed for the coast, which on a normal day is not possible. The onshore sea breeze usually shuts down any lift near the coast, but today the wind is blowing offshore, and I can see a rare cumulus cloud forming over Big Sur. It will be a long, dead glide across the Salinas Valley to get there, so I've climbed as high as I can before leaving the clouds. My glide computer shows that I can make it all the way to the ocean from this height, but those clouds are above a ridge that's a bit inland, so reaching it should be no problem. I've been watching these clouds for the whole glide, and the larger ones seem to be falling apart. I spot a new cloud forming upwind of them, and I know it will have a fresh thermal under it. After a solid climb, I set out to meet up with 5 Whiskey. I find him under a cloud, and we climb together to cloud base. It's exciting to be flying in this area for the first time, but I'm going to be cautious since I don't really know what to expect. Before we head for the water, we want to get all the altitude we can get, so we try the next clouds to the south to get a few hundred more feet. The higher we are, the less likely it is that we'll be affected by any downwash in the lee of the coastal mountains. Now it's time to go for that rare opportunity to fly over the Pacific Ocean. This is a special treat for a glider pilot in California. The ocean is blanketed in fog for as far as the eye can see, but is still an amazing sight to behold.
I am over the water. Great view.
Well, that was pretty cool. We both went over the water at the same place without planning it that way. Now I'm headed back toward Hollister, and I see this cloud just billowing in front of me. I could see it expanding even in real time as I flew toward it. It provided a good climb, and now I'm on final glide to Hollister. It's an easy 22-to-1 glide to get there, so I've got it made. About halfway there, I realize that I haven't closed my triangle, so I turn sharply toward my release point. I have just enough altitude remaining to get there while keeping Hollister in glide. Let's review what I learned on this flight. Overdevelopment can happen really fast, so be prepared for it. Rain doesn't necessarily mean there's no lift. And finally, don't forget to close the triangle. The visit to the coast was a fun little detour, but frankly, it was pretty easy. The cloud bases were high enough that getting there and back was no problem at all. I hope to do that again someday, and I'll be more confident doing it next time. On most flights, I'm focused on going as fast and as far as I can, but this one was a bit different. I was limited in where I could go early in the day, and then it suddenly became uncertain whether I'd make it back. Then a rare opportunity presented itself, and I was able to add a fun little adventure to the flight. It was a memorable one, despite not going particularly fast or far. I'll skip the usual tactical review, but just look at how the clouds developed over the course of the day. I've never seen the San Benito Mountains blow up so quickly like that. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.